passion, it fills me. I love you in the burn. Leave me refuse, I need you to return. We can make love. Sitting in patience, staring at the clock, calling and texting, and wondering who you are. I want you, I need you, so please don't be far. So we can make love. When I see you again, when my heart beat out, I know that we just met, and I can't forget. Said you'll be back if I let it turn to tears. I'm really wondering if I could see you again. When you leave the door, I want you more. Hey, more than a feeling, it's a true fact. If you leave me, you can always come back. If you find another, you can always come back. You know we love her, I'm alright with that. When I see you again, when my heart beat out, I know that we just met.
Well, past the 2-minute mark, I got caught up in the groove. Good morning. It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com with another daily energy reading. Today is our Mars day. Today we pay attention to Mars, see what Mars is doing. Through that observation, I came up with the title of this video entitled Objectivity. So let's be objective over at the Patreon family, patreon.com/hoodmystic, where all the magic happens, where we get this thing going. Is kind of like the root to this show every day. So any type of, you know, if you like this show, you love this show, and you want to support this show, the best way to do that is patreon.com/thehoodmystic. And it's just not, you know, supporting it for nothing. You know, I'm trying to do a lot of different things with the Patreon family. And the more I learn about the site, more I learn about the program, the better I get at it. So more to come for the Patreon family. I'm definitely about to do like a shirt giveaway to a couple of people. Just got to get some things set up and figure out how exactly I want to do that. But just want to, you know, shout out the Patreon family, man, because they make the show possible. No movie today. We can just really talk about this energy. I'm not gonna have a long drawn out talk because basically Mars is not going through a lot. There's not a lot happening with Mars, but let's just talk about Mars and what it's doing. Mars is in the 9th degree of Aquarius. The 9th degree of Aquarius, the Sabian symbol is an eagle. My wife and my friends know how I am about eagles. If you follow me on Instagram, you know how I am about eagles. Eagles represent an objective point of view. And we all have our personal eagles. We all have our personal birds that fly for us, that get more of a objective view of ourselves, of our lives, of our future. So we owe it to ourselves to deal with that energy, consult with our eagles, consult with our birds, consult with our higher selves, and then get that, okay, what should I do? Have you consulted with your higher self to figure out what you should do? And from that point, you know exactly what to do because you sat and consulted with your ego. Your ego is like, you know, is some of this ahead, is some of that ahead. You might need to take a left, you might need to take a right. So this is what you should do. And you vibe with your ego like, thank you, sir. Now I know what to do. And so from dealing with this perspective, this is what Mars in the 9th degree means to me. Really acting out the vision. And then today, if you wake up and you like, I don't know what I should do, and you know, life is crazy, and Donald Trump is the president, and I gotta pay $5 for milk. You know, if you dealing with all of this energy, then the problem is that you have no vision and you're waiting for the news to give you a positive stimulus for your overall well-being. Well, it's not designed like that. You have to create your own vision. You have to create your own particular happiness. And from Mars in the 9th degree and its different squares, we could kind of give a solution, and that solution is objectivity. Mars is square Venus. Excuse me. Mars is square Venus, so there's a level of freedom. There's a level of the things that you love, the people that you love, that are blocking you from confiding with your ego. Not your ego in the sky, the bird, your higher self. The things that you love could possibly block you from that conversation, from that realization, from that objectivity, because from the mere fact that you love them, you are absolving yourself from all objectivity. Let me repeat that because I kind of scrambled and mumbled it. The mere fact that you love things, the mere fact that you have an attachment to things, absolves your whole realization of who you are spiritually. And that's a tough thing to deal with, because I love my wife, I love my children, but that's a subjective reality. The reality is that there may be more purpose to my life than simply just doing the love thing. And that's a square, because I have to reconcile that. Or I have to realize that I have to balance my life out a little bit more. I have to do things for my spirit too. I can't be, my family's slave in a sense. Not in a bad way, but you have to understand that working with your spirit may not have shit to do with your family or the things that you love. You might not love your family, you might love your job, you might love your partner, but your spiritual attainment may have to be reconciled with the things that you love. And this is what Mars in the 9th degree square Venus retrograde is all about. Because let's not forget that things are switched during this Venus retrograde, and we're getting a different perspective of the things that we love. And let's hopefully find the things that we love and incorporate it into, the vision that we get from the higher self. Don't go from what we love and then try to factor in the higher self. That's backwards. You deal completely with the higher self, and then you try to factor in the different ways that you can love people. Because what's the reality that we're dealing with, though, with the Mars in the 9th degree? Cliche shit, but it's true. If you don't love yourself, there's no way possible that you can love other people. So this is where we're at as a human race. We don't love ourselves, so we imagine ourselves to be loving other people extra strong and shit. But that's not even a reality if you don't first love yourself. If you don't first engage with the Mars in the 9th degree, where it's really about transitioning from the seer to the doer. Like, I see this eagle, now I'm about to poly with this eagle and see what's up ahead of me. I understand my higher self, now I'm about to build with it. Before I even, before I start my day, I meditate with myself. Before I even get out the bed, before I even open my eyes. It's all about interfacing and building with my ego, my higher self, my innermost, the person that knows more than I fucking know in this ratchet ass human brain that I possess. So Mars in the 9th degree square Uranus it's a square astrologically, but to me it's much more of a deep realization. It's much more of a, I need to make some changes. But the good kind, though, because the reality is that everybody's not opening up to their higher selves, but there's also a reality where a lot of us are coming to a realization about our higher selves, and we're dealing with it every day. We're dealing with my dreams. We're dealing with, the energy that supersedes me. We're dealing with our auras. We're dealing with our thoughts. We're dealing with our emotions. This is all Uranus and Taurus. Like, a year ago, we were not at this level of understanding, and that's just the reality. Because Uranus has entered into a whole new ball game, and it's here to awaken us in the physical level, at the most primary physical root level, it is waking us up. And the reality is, the deep reality, that all of the people with the ankhs and the dashikis and the cowrie shells and the drumming and the dancing and the ceremonies, you know, it may have been deeply aesthetic. And we were really into, you know, what they were doing. All the dancing, all the movements, and, you know, all of the foreign energy. But have we ever went through a psychological overhaul? And that's what Uranus and Taurus is about. You could have been, you know, all into the deep shit of whatever religion you are into. But when your higher self waking up, it's like, you know, I supersede all of this shit. And you need to follow me. But the reality, your higher self is saying you need to follow me. But the reality is that people think that they should follow a nigga on YouTube. A nigga on Facebook, a nigga on Instagram. But the reality is, you need to begin to follow yourself. And this is a square. This is meaning that, you know, yourself is making itself visible. And the reality is, are you able to follow it? That's why I say the square with the square towards Uranus, it don't feel like much of a square, because I'm just so into my higher self though. So if my higher self tells me to do something, I have a good relationship, a good working relationship, you know, through reputation, through repetition. I've learned to follow my higher self. And maybe you're not there yet. You should talk to my wife. You should talk to me. I know a whole bunch of people who simply follow the spirit and where it leads them to, as opposed to just, you know, waiting for something to happen. And this is the difference between objectivity and subjectivity, because we have a host. I realize that there's a host of people that I love and respect that operate on an emotional level through life, a subjective level through life, meaning that their it just came to me, their happiness, their anger is what fuels them. And when there is no happiness, when there is no anger, there is nothing there. They shut down. They want to, you know, cut their Facebook off until some stimulus happens of where they can show their face to the world again. But they're motivated through their happiness and through their anger. But I'm trying to motivate us all through objectivity, because how you feel is unimportant. Because the world is still going on. I don't care what you've been going through. And I had to realize this personally, because I've been through a lot of trauma throughout my life. And the world kept going. The minute did not stop a second. Like, it is, a second didn't skip. A minute didn't hold on when life was going too fast. I needed it to slow down. It didn't. It kept going. So I say that to say that a lot of us think that since we are good people, then we are automatically into the conscious club. We're automatically into the heaven club. And then the bad people, we wait for something bad to happen to them because they're obviously not doing the good things or the right things. But you don't understand spirituality. Spirituality in its most original sense, there are energies. And there are human beings. The energies are not looking down on the human beings like, you're a good person, let me give you some energy. Oh, you're a bad person, you're cut off from this energy. Good person, energy. Bad person, no energy. It does not look like that. Whoever wants to interface with that energy, if they are clear enough and they are willing enough to tap into this higher realm of stuff, then the energy will bless them. The reality of the good people in this world is that they're not dealing with the energy, and the quote-unquote bad people, they wouldn't think twice about it. They'll meditate for 20 years to bring hell to your life, and you won't meditate for 20 minutes, and that's the problem. The Three of Swords represents the world being what you want it to be or what it's not wanted to be, and that's what's controlling your emotions. The fact that you don't got a Tesla now will create negative emotions, but you got a car or you catching a bus and getting to work every day. then whatever the case may be. But you know, the fact of the matter is that the world is not like nobody wants it to be. But we're all creators, but who's really tapping into that creative energy? How could you tap into that creative energy when you feel bad, when you're being subjective, when you're not being objective? Peace. The Six of Discs really speaks to, you know, valuing yourself. This is an empathy card. This is the moon in Taurus. I'm feeling myself. Once I'm feeling myself, that's my level of success. I was successful a long time ago. I didn't need nobody's validation about my success. I had the realizations within myself that was changing my family's life. Period. I didn't need anybody to say, I got real emotional right now. I didn't need anybody to say, good job, Kyrie. You doing great. Because my higher self was telling me that off the rip. So whatever a person would say, I can understand where it's coming from. We talked about this card yesterday. The Chariot. The Chariot is moving. He's going exactly where he needs to go, but he's not steering. He's not controlling. He's not holding the wheel. He's letting himself be guided by his emotional frequency, but not the emotions in that sense, whether, you know, energy and motion. That form of emotion, because I know when I say emotions, you start thinking about an H-Town song. Emotions make you cry sometimes, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your energy being in motion. Your energy being in motion, and that energy being in motion is guiding your physical body. This is a different vibe from, oh, I feel this way, and now I just want to sit in the house, sit in my room, and put covers over my head. That's where your energy is leading you. That's where your energy is leading you. Okay. The Ten of Wands. This morning, you may feel a certain type of way. You may feel oppressed. You might have particular feelings, but there is a solution for that shit. Rise up above that feeling and understand that you are being subjective. You are being so subjective in the way that you're approaching your life that you're not able to see how your energy could lead you. Your energy is that of, I'm feeling oppressed, and that's where it's leading you to more oppression. Your energy is feeling like, I feel bad. It's leading you to more badness. So once you set the tone, and maybe you don't know how to change your subjective emotions. I don't know how to change them to this day. I don't know how to change my subjective emotions. I can only flip the switch and go to objective mode. Maybe I need to go within myself. Maybe I need to go out into nature. Maybe I just need to let this shit go. What am I dealing with? Where am I getting this energy from? Where am I getting this insight from? Where is all of this shit coming from? It is anything that I say, anything that I build upon is strictly coming from the third tarot card, the Empress. That's my root. You know, that's my source to all things mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. I deal with the Empress, and I know y'all can't see these cards, so they're on the side. So really dealing with the goddess at a root level, and then from an objective level, I mean from a higher up level, dealing with my higher self, I'm pretty much grounded and protected. The power of objectivity. It's so much stuff online in reference to objective thought, and if you don't even understand what it means to be objective, then that means you're being subjective. So when we're talking about this magic, when we're talking about law of attraction, when we're talking about manifestation, it's easier to manifest from an objective point of view. But you got to get some shit in line about life first. You got to understand some stuff about life. So that's why I presented this book, The Road Less Traveled. You know, if you try to understand things from a psychological level and you're just trying to take responsibility for your life and you just don't know how, you need a book to help you. But you can't just read this book like, whatever. take notes. This is some real ass shit. This book has helped me, you know, like before consciousness. Like, this book helped me as a Christian, and throughout my consciousness I've looked to this book, especially when shit is bad. Like, if shit is bad, if shit is tough, this book is as good as the Bible when it comes to uplifting your spirits and things of that nature. I don't know what it is about this book that has so much power, but it's just a real thing. Like, so if you find yourself like, I can't get into nothing, you know, I'm stuck, start with this book. It could possibly help you. And I hope that made sense. You know, I just wanted to kind of touch on some things and build with you guys like I do every day. And every day I come up with a different message, a different thing to say, a different thing to talk about. And it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, damn, this is taking on a life of its own. Like, I didn't even expect all of this. And this is really from an objective point of view, and just taking it every day and just trying to improve a little by little every day. But I appreciate everybody who was on the live, that was listening, that's paying attention. You know, everything that I say, it comes from a place of deep love, you know. We did a interview last night, which was amazing. I didn't necessarily know that it was gonna go into the realms of sex magic, but it did. And we talked about sex magic and co-creating at a deep level. So I'll upload that this afternoon so the family can get a taste of that. It was like 2 hours of the hood mystic just going crazy, so you don't want to miss that. Be on the lookout for that upload. Very much of an intimate portrait of me and myself and my spiritual development like I've never really done. I appreciate the comments and the feedback for this particular video, and hopefully I can keep bringing this same energy and the same positivity. What else is going on? We're moving in a week, so the background is a little different, and over this week you'll see, you know, a lot of things like removed out of my house, out of this live, as we begin to transition to bigger and greater things. You know, my name was the Hood Mystic, but I'm thinking of changing it to the Residential Mystic. How did that sound?
Quit playing this.
My wife said, quit playing. Oh, if I live in a mansion, I'm gonna still be the Hood Mystic, so it ain't nothing gonna change. I just appreciate y'all. See you guys tomorrow as we'll talk about some more stuff.